Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, and I'm back with another video. We're continuing the Planets in the Houses series, and in this video, I am going to be discussing Venus in the fourth house. As a reminder, the fourth house represents family, parents, particularly the father, home, internal feelings, nationality, lineage, early childhood upbringing, foundations, and real estate. All right. So with Venus in the fourth house, and we know that Venus has to deal with, what gives you pleasure and love and beauty and relationships. So you're all about things being harmonious in the home. I know I mentioned like the whole feng shui thing. I think I mentioned it for the sun or moon. I can't remember, but it definitely has to be like a balance of energies in your house, and not too much of this, not too much of that. It has to be the right balance. So because Venus has to deal with beauty, of course you want your house to be beautiful, and interior designing is definitely a career path for you, and your home is probably immaculate. Like, you're probably the one that has the white couches. I'm always afraid to sit on a white couch, just afraid of getting it dirty and stuff like that. But the Venus in the fourth house person would definitely have the white couch. This is like the home that you love, but you feel like if you go to this house, like you feel like you can't touch anything. Because it's just like that beautiful and luxurious. So you're all about the luxury of the home life, okay? Venus deals with what gives us pleasure. So someone with this placement definitely loves being home. They love good food and drinks, and they love to cook these foods and drinks. And I would say, like the sun in the fourth house, Venus can be definitely the entertainer in the home. They can definitely have parties and get-togethers, but I would say it would be more like social gatherings, like something like particular, like, you know, an event, like a mixer, or like the sun in the fourth house, you might just have family over just because you want to entertain, like for a card game or something. But Venus, I wouldn't say it would be necessarily for business, but it would be a little bit more like upscale, like maybe like a book club, like, it just may be for a particular, purpose and things like that. Mercury in the fourth house, book club, definitely. I should have said it in that video. Definitely speaking. And you may have people over to listen to music, because Venus has to deal with music and stuff like that. So, shoot, you may have like live, concerts in your house. I know this, he's a vocal coach. His name is Steve Mackey, and I don't know any of his placements. I don't even know where his birthday is. But he had this thing, before the quarantine, where he would have Taco Tuesdays in his house, and he would have, singers, some famous singers, some not, come to his house, and they would eat, Taco Tuesday, and they would sing. Very Venus in the fourth. That is so Venus in the fourth, like I can't even take it. Like, if he happens to have and he's pretty as hell. So if he happens to have Venus in the fourth, or Venusian in nature, Venus in Cancer, like Venus in Taurus, like something along those lines, I'd be like, yeah. But the fact that you're doing it in your house, like you're not renting out a space, you're not going somewhere else, you're very specifically doing it in the house, that's very Venus in the fourth house. So entertaining, music-wise, bringing people together in your home. So you can be very indulgent. So watch the weight. So can Moon in the fourth house. Just the fourth house can be indulgent in general. So let me just I'm not going to really specify that for any particular planet. But I'm just saying that for Venus, because Venus has to deal with indulgence, particularly. It's hard to get them out of the house, so difficult to meet new people when it comes to relationships. So like I said before, Venus in theory is a social butterfly, but not when they're not in their house, not when they're not in their familial territory. And Venusian people don't really like to rock the boat, so you may not really see them really express themselves, unless they're in their home, and you really see their personality shine through. But it may be very difficult for these people to get into relationships with people, particularly romantic relationships, because they're so, insular and stuff like that. But when they do, they're gonna be devoted. They are gonna be very attentive and reciprocal, because that's the Venusian nature, balance. You give, I give, that type of thing. They like when people come to their house for gatherings or get-togethers, as I mentioned. That may be the only way for them to meet a romantic partner. So this is actually a good way for you to meet somebody. Like, have your friends, bring a friend, and you have a little party and a little social gather, a little wind down, so to speak. That's good. That's Venus in the fourth house too, all day. Them wine downs, oh yes, with some wine. You add some drink to that. Bring them to the Christmas party. That's good. At the Venus in the fourth house. So yeah, the Christmas party, like the New Year's party. You know what I'm saying? Have that at the Venus in the fourth house, and you may spark a relationship with someone. Loves to cook, but likes gourmet cooking and like fancy garnishments on food. Venusian people, we always extra fancy and like, luxurious things or whatever. So, you can't just have the chicken. It has to be, I don't even know this because I'm not like that like savvy and luxurious, but it has to be, the shrimp and the lobster tail and the garnishment, the parsley and the, this is the people who give you food porn on Instagram. They probably got Venus in the fourth house because their food visually looks very beautiful. Like, for real. Like, it just looks really nice. I follow a couple of food pages on Instagram. I don't know why I be doing it because it just makes me hungry. But that's the vibe that a Venus in the fourth house is going to give you. Like, beautiful looking food. Like, you don't even want to eat it because it's so pretty, but it still tastes good. Yes. Definitely likes to own their own restaurant, especially a restaurant that has consistent live music. So mixing, the music with the food is definitely a Venus in the fourth house thing, because Venus rules the arts. So the mixture of comfort and music is very essential to this placement. So yeah, that's something that's very important. The fourth house in general, people could own a restaurant because the fourth house has to deal with cancer related themes and that can deal with food. But Venus in particular would have that musical element in the club. I'm sorry, I said in the club, in the restaurant. And your parents may have always been viewed as like a beautiful couple, quote unquote, or if you grew up in a single parent household, your mom or dad was very popular with different partners or always in a relationship. Remember, the fourth house does represent your parents, and it can represent the relationship that your parents have. So it could just be seen as very beautiful, but it could also be seen as kind of superficial. Remember, Venus can be kind of superficial, kind of fake. So what was on the outside may not have been what really was, but they could put on the front like things were going good. For such a deep house, Venus can kind of make it lighter and more, easier to deal with. But you're still kind of getting that anxiety and the worrisomeness about your self-worth, because Venus does have to deal with self-worth and money. Venus has to deal with money. So this is probably a good a placement where you may get like an inheritance, but from like a woman in your family. It may not necessarily be your mother. It could be an aunt. It could be a sister, just because Venus represents women. Or that could be a way for you to earn money to work with a woman in your family, and stuff like that. So maybe that restaurant that I mentioned, you take care of the music, and then your other female family member does the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Oh my goodness. A collaboration. Yes, because we're talking about Venus and we're talking about working with people and balancing and things like that. Or you could also do really good in family law, because Venus represents law and balance in the justice system. So family law, particularly, maybe child support. No, that all kind of falls under family law. But whatever you do, it has to be something beautiful about it and making you feel at ease. Like no real stress with your job with a Venus in the fourth house, because you want it to be easygoing and chill and cool, calm, and collected. All right, this video is a little bit longer than the other one, so I apologize for that, but I hope that you enjoyed the Venus in the fourth house video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.